Welcome to JB Trio Podcast, Season 4, Episode 11. I'm Lee McDonald Jr.
Christopher, the comeback kid, Woodmansee.
Mark, the Ancient Warrior Merchant.
And we got a lot to discuss tonight. A ton of stuff happened this past week. But let's start off right off the bat. Congratulations to Mr. Ron Reynolds, one of our classic JB Trio bowlers, highest seniority, bowling it for 30 years. Shot a 300 this past Tuesday, so congrats, shout out to Ron. Just don't ask him about that first game.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it was...
What happened first game? I wasn't there.
That's what...
Well, let's
That's
just
Ronnie.
say if we had his first game next to his last game, he would be probably a Lifetime Achievement Award for the Woodmansee Award.
Really?
It was an even bigger gap than Jared's 167 300.
Oh my God.
But they weren't together, so it doesn't count. So I think he went, all right, I'll give you the official score. He went 159, 212, 300.
Dang.
I think that's right. I'm not sure about that middle game, but I'm pretty sure it's close to that.
How did he get a 159?
Yeah, I mean, he was struggling to figure it out in the beginning, you know?
I think you and he both had like lousy first games and good second games, though, right?
I mean, I had a 250-something second game, right? 257.
Yeah, you crushed it.
He was in the deuces, and I got to say, Ron struggled. I mean, he just, that first game, he struggled, but he figured it out. By the third game, both lanes were kind of the same, and every ball was right there, except that 11th frame shot might have been a hair high, and he had that slow 7 drop, but...
That's the same shot. He had that number 11 hair high, 7-pin stood for a long ass time and failed.
Yeah. And then,
we got proof of it on our Facebook page. We posted the video.
Yeah, and then somebody said, "Don't pull a Woodmansee," and that was all he needed. For that 12 shot.
Dumbass,
I
I got down there to shoot the video, and I even had Mark in the end. And it turns out I didn't hit record.
That's too bad. But somebody yelled, "Don't pull a Woodmansee," and he didn't, man. He wasn't about to do it.
No.
Okay. No, I saw the video after he posted the correct one. That's 7-pin. Come on, that's 7 was trying to stay up on Ron.
It was crazy, yeah. That was one of the longest 7-pins I've seen.
That 7-pin was fighting for his, like...
Yeah, it was one of the longest 7-pin drops in the history of JB Trios, that's for sure.
I believe that. That is something I believe.
I think Andrew Wallace was in the back knocking it down.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It was slow to fall.
Yeah, it's a great video. Y'all ought to catch it. Now, that's Ron's, I believe, his second 300 video. He's probably made maybe 4 or 5 videos, but 2 of them that actually made it to posting online. He's had 11 in a row several times, but all 12 in a row, this is his second video, so it's pretty cool. We love Ron, and we were going to have him on as guest tonight, but I think he's subbing right now at the Monday Night Men's, but maybe next time.
Yeah, the next 300. The next 300 will do it.
Yeah, we'll have to give him a Chris Probes interview.
Yeah, how to get 300. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
that's what it was. He saw your video 300 a few months ago, and then he copied it. So he did learn from you.
Yeah, but he finished it.
And didn't leak, too.
Damn.
What team did you guys face, Mark?
Well, we faced that team that's going to be in first place when the half ends.
Oh, that's right. You guys bowled.
Brady Bunch.
Yeah, and they bowled pretty good. They actually beat you guys.
Yeah, I think they should disqualify Jared, though. He uses a Fred Flintstone ball on his second ball all the time. They should ban that ball. No, he uses the Fred Flintstone ball.
He ought to. Now, I think what we need to do is come up with a rule where if he is going to throw the Fred Flintstone ball, that he's got to throw it like Fred Flintstone with the twinkle toes.
Yeah, I agree. Yes. That definitely needs to be a new rule. If he's going to use that ball, he has to throw it like Fred.
Chris has no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah, I love Fred Flintstone.
Oh, you don't know Fred.
I love my Fruity Pebbles.
That's not what we're talking about. They had a cartoon.
I know. I've seen the cartoon too, and the movie, the live-action movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, the cartoon was first.
Yeah. Jared does have a Flintstone ball that he throws that should be legal.
Like he
If
has
he's
like
not,
a rock ball, something like that.
he throws the Fred Flintstone ball for his 10 pin. And I think you're right, Lee. I think if he's going to use that ball, he needs to throw it like Fred.
Exactly.
Yes.
He needs to bowl tippy toes all the way to the foul line and then just launch it halfway down the lane.
He didn't miss a 10 pin with that thing. Even Kyle used it once and didn't miss.
The Fred Flintstone ball. Okay,
Yeah.
that's the secret to the 10 pin then. So, and that's what happened on your guys' pair. You guys bowled one of the toughest teams in the league, ended up losing even with the 300. They won 30 out of 48.
I had a 257. Ron had a 300. Kyle was consistently over 200 for 3 games, and we lost. I think
16.
We lost total by 16, and I think we lost second game by 11 pins. Yeah.
So I could have easily swung the other way.
Yeah.
So I think they edged you guys out barely. And same as my team. We ended up shooting and winning 30 out of 48 as well. So thankfully, we stayed ahead. Brady Bunch by the same amount of points, so they didn't gain any on us. And we ended up beating on Good Frame Gentlemen, which all of a sudden is not doing so good. Elena's really struggling. Her average was 200, and now I think it's down there.
And I do want to give Neil credit. He did shoot 702.
He did.
And
Neil shot 702.
And he was 230s, really, every game, pretty much across the board. It was difficult to beat him.
Yeah. And Ron Reynolds shot 670 on the same pair. Jared shot 660 on the pair. So your guys' pair had the highest scores out of the whole
Top
league.
3, yeah.
Yeah.
Top 3.
And it just mattered on what pair you bowled on because there was a lot of high scores. Trent Demerit, who bowls with Dwayne and Richard for I'd Hit That Harder, had made bowler of the week this past week, shooting 130 pins over. They shot 21-20 as a team. And then, of course, there's Ricky and the two mix, who's all of a sudden in second place, maybe for a little while, because, Chris, your team post-bowl today, and we don't have the scores set up against them.
We took a hard loss today. So
Yeah, it was tough. But, I mean, it was mostly because they bowled great. They shot 21-60. Lots of high scores, which is
But
odd.
they have Titanic had a shot, though, because they got rid of the baggage that they had when they were bowling, making it up today. I just saw Brian and Christian down there, so they got rid of the baggage. They were looking good. They were throwing the ball good.
I mean, did they win, though? No. So they needed me to push them over the win.
So Christian and Brian ended up bowling without Chris. They took Chris's blind. Had Chris bowl, they probably would have won, but he decided not to show up.
Exactly.
Picking out again.
Yeah, exactly. Good, you got it.
But I mean, big letdown.
It sounded to me like Christian shot really well the third game. Now, if Chris was there, he probably would have been 100 pins less.
Yeah, he didn't have all that pressure on him.
His series would have been 100 pins more.
And I bet they brought the wives. I bet you Christian brought his wife, and I bet you Brian brought Christina, and they had their all family at the table. And
Christina was working,
all this tension. So. Well, yeah, she's always there, so it probably wasn't all this tension at the table. So yeah, I can see him bowling really loose.
And just as a note, Dwayne, Trent, and Rich, this is the first time those 3 bowled together in months.
Yes, and it showed because they
did
killed it. They absolutely killed it. Dwayne bowled pretty good. He definitely bowled better than the week before when he shot that 97. But Trent, oh my God, he just crushed it. And against Team 4, so they actually had pocket pounders, which unfortunately has not been bowling so great. So Dwayne's team took 38 out of 48, and that was on 29 and 30. Or I think they may have moved.
And Rick bowled a good second game.
Yeah.
They were right next to us, and he might have got tired the third game with the one-step delivery.
Yep.
But that second game, he was in the high 200.
And George subbed with him. He bowled really good. Unfortunately, they also had a missing bowler. They took Caden's line, and it's always tough when you get bowled 2 against 3. Chris should know that. So Rick came back. We're really happy to see him back. He actually bowled back-to-back nights. He post-bowled the previous Monday night before for the week that the team missed. So that was his first time bowling in month, and he ended up bowling pretty good. He shot like a 550, which is a little above his average, and he's doing a one-step approach because his hip was the one that had the surgery. So he bowled pretty good. And then he comes around, turns around, bowls another night. He bowled back-to-back nights, first time in months, and he bowled really good the night that he was bowling regular.
Yeah.
So, we're happy to see Rick and glad he's doing better. And I bet you he's happy to take a week off, though, from bowling that back-to-back.
Yeah, he didn't look that bad at all.
No, not at all. George didn't bowl so good the post bowl night, but he bowled better that Tuesday night. But all in all, unfortunately, they couldn't stand a chance against Trent. Trent just crushed it, bowled 130 over. Richard bowled good, Dwayne bowled good. They took 38 from him. Then the last pair was Team 9 and 10, another massacre. Well, close to it, 28 out of 48. That's not so bad. Boyer's boys beat up 2 marks to despair. Unfortunately, they've had a run of bad luck lately. They had Larry sub form again. They had Mark Gates and Jerry bowled, the 2 regulars. Larry bowled good, but Mark Gates bowled really bad, unfortunately. I don't know what happened there. But Kiefer bowled good. And then David, who we'll talk about here in a second afterwards when we talk about the Woodmansee Madness. We got the results in. David did not bowl. He was not feeling good. He hurt his hamstring golfing that week. So he brought in Andrew, and Andrew subbed in for the Woodmansee.
Andrew who?
His son, Andrew Pride.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Did not bowl as good, but their team edged them out and won 28 out of 40. I think Patrick had a good night. They did good. So overall, it was kind of a one-sided league night. I mean, one team crushed the other and lots of good scores, even though the next subject we'll be discussing is the approaches. My God, they decided to resurface the approaches during the state tournament that's bowling at Louisville, AMF Louisville for these next couple months. And you might as well have been bowling on ice. That was the main reason why I bowled like shit.
See, I saw my buddy was texting me at the Tuesday first league. He was texting me. The approaches are bad. They said we're falling. I'm like, really? And
Ron never misses 10 pins, and he missed a handful of them.
Really?
Yeah, because he couldn't keep his footing.
Well, you know what's so crazy is that when you're bowling your normal shot, I guess that's where the high traffic area is for when people take their steps. But when you move left or right for your 10 pin, depending on if you're left-handed or right-handed, there is no grip at all. I mean, you might as well be bowling in your socks.
Oh my God. It was like you were ice skating?
It was kind of like you were bowling in your socks. It really was the way
ice skating, I'd rather had ice on there than what they had this past Tuesday. You can't, it's like, if your feet fell asleep, you had to bowl on that. That's what it was. You could not feel the approaches on the bottom of your sole.
Yeah, I need friction.
I could bowl if they're so tacky and sticky. I can adjust to that. But when it's ice like this, when it's slippery, oh man, it's tough. And they do it right in the middle of the state tournament, which I don't know if the USBC demanded it, or if it was something that they wanted to do because they had a whole new paint job around the alley. They got a different bowling shot that's way better.
Oh, new lighting.
Yeah.
So they knew they were coming to town, but why mess with the approaches though? I just don't get that.
Yeah. And they fixed Dwayne's hole in the men's room.
All the holes that Dwayne left, they all got fixed. So I hesitate to say they remodeled the place. They basically they cleaned it up.
They say the lights have been on too.
No, that's the one thing they didn't fix. There was no foul lights. We thought there was when we talked about it on the last episode, but nope, still no foul lights.
They always been on though, so I don't know what y'all talking about.
Oh yeah. One of the weeks they were. Then they figured out that they're broke. Half of them are going off on their own.
And I didn't foul once.
We shall see this week. Wait till you get on that slippery approach. Had you bowled on it yet?
Yeah, I bowled Friday, and it was perfect for me. I bowled a 670. So
what?
Yeah.
What happened to Tuesday? How come you couldn't bowl tonight?
It was a 670 for 4 games, though.
Yeah, I couldn't bowl tonight because my son had practice.
So is that 670 that practice that you guys do afterwards?
No, it's 670 in league.
Really?
Friday, yeah.
We'll have to get a hold of Don Hood and get confirmation of that. He runs on Friday league.
4 games.
That's not counting the practice games.
No, it's the 10 minutes of practice. You don't count those.
So that's what AMF did with the approaches. It was not a pretty sight. I don't know if they've got maybe better over the week, maybe late in the week, Friday when Chris bowled, if they got any better. But man, Tuesday, Mark can attest to this. It was horrible.
I bowled today, Lee. They're just the same.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Well, Mark is old. Mark's old. That's like.
I bowled with the old folks today. It's just as good, just the same.
Did any of the older people have a hard time on them?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, they warned everybody before they started throwing the ball, and they warned them, hey, the approaches are slippery and the foul light's on.
They did have the foul lights on. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, hey, Chris, is that the reason why you didn't post bowl today?
No. Even if I did, I wouldn't have fouled. Never.
We'll see. Now, don't skip tomorrow because you skip once, that's shame on you, but skip twice, shame on me. We know you're skipping if you're missing that night. So you better be there tomorrow. Otherwise, we're going to sick Camilla on you.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I'll be there. Well, wait, what's tomorrow?
Well, Tuesday, our normal bowling.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah, he's going to forget. Yeah, we'll text him. He's nowhere to be found. Oh, wait, today's Tuesday. Oh.
I'll be there. I got a big update at the end of the podcast.
Oh, okay.
He's retiring.
No way.
No. What,
are you moving away or something?
No.
All right, we'll have to wait till the end of the podcast.
Yep. Welcome to the final week of Woodmansee March Madness.
Closing it out
with the final two, David Pry versus Lee McDonald Jr. Now, I wasn't there, but I heard it was a close match. Lee was riding hard, riding stallion, going for the win. But David Pry and his old man engine couldn't stop. He's like, I think I can. And he pulled through. The old man David Pry won it all by 10 pins. The winner of David Pry is the winner of March Madness. He's the ultimate Woodmansee.
Oh, man. All right, so I'm glad I wanted to give you that segment because that was priceless. Since you weren't there, what ended up happening is David, and we talked a little bit about it, he threw out his hamstring playing golf. He did not bowl. His son Andrew bowled. Andrew, who would normally kick my ass, had a hard time with the approaches being so slick, same as me. I shot my usual shitty 560, and with the handicap, he ended up beating me by 10 pins. The official winner of the Woodmansee March Madness Bowling Tournament for JB Trio, Mr. David Pry.
Ooh.
So I choked.
You choked on a big one.
Choked it.
I pulled the Chris choke.
Yeah, Chris choke. Yep, I know.
That was the famous Chris choke that Mark declared when Ron shot that 297.
Yeah, you pulled a Woodmansee.
I sure did. So, and I knew I was close in the third game too. I just could not string any strikes together. The official winner. So Tracy's going to pull up the plaque. She's going to have that made. She's going to need probably one more week. We'll present the award to Mr. Pride. I don't know how long he's going to be down. He really did pull a hamstring, and you could see it. He come up and he came up.
Like I said, that little engine I could. He was rolling on one engine.
He took him up on his offer and used his bowl against his blind score the week before.
Yeah.
But no, he wanted to bowl heads up, and then he turned out he couldn't.
And he did present you with doctor's note, so we know it's legal.
Yes, he did. He's a good sport about it, but he even showed us his hamstring, how it was all pulled and knotted up. We let Andrew bowl. Come down to the final two. We had, I don't know how many matches we had. I know we had 30 bowlers, but we probably had maybe 20 matches. And so 20 matches later, the last two, and it came down to me and David, and I guess Andrew subbed for him. And Andrew just barely subbed me out. So the whole damn tournament comes down to 10 pins.
When we do the trophy and we put his name on it, for the next year, we'll put an asterisk after his name.
Yeah, because he didn't officially win it himself.
No, so we got to put a little asterisk.
I say congrats to Andrew and congrats to David. David bowled good throughout the whole tournament. He earned his spot, definitely, especially when he pulled that huge upset against Peyton.
Did he, though?
He did. He only used the sub one time.
And I would have been in there if it wasn't for Curtis.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
Brian Curtis, the luck of the sub. It could go both ways.
Yeah.
And I would have been there if it wasn't for the handicap.
Oh, you wouldn't have been there if you hadn't bowled.
Yeah, exactly.
Or if you would have had a sub bowl for you.
You would have been out the first week if it wasn't for a bye.
One and done. One and done. We tried to tell you, Chris, don't go one and done. You didn't.
No, I didn't. I went 2 and done.
That don't count. You bowled one time, you were done.
No.
Of course, I was practically done. I shouldn't have even been that far. I got lucky. All right, so there is our Woodmansee results. So, again, congrats to Mr. David Pride.
Somewhat. Halfway.
One thing I did want to discuss, though, is the high average. Looks like Ron Reynolds is holding strong still at 212.
Nice.
At 208. Chris Woodmansee still in the top 3 at 204, but he's got a lot of people on his tail.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's the reason why he isn't showing up anymore. Trying to hold it.
Oh, no. So
Somewhat.
Chris holding strong at 204, and he's still going to be there because he didn't bowl this past week.
He's got Neil and Jared right up his rear.
Yeah, Neil, Jared, and Dwayne has been kind of up and down, but he's still there at 200. Elena, who's been kind of falling off, she's at 199. Kiefer Boyer's at 199. So you got quite a bit of competition on you.
How many more weeks we got left to count?
Very good question. We're on week 32. So that means we just got done bowling week 31. So we've got 37 weeks to count. So that's 5 weeks. And then week 38. Depending on who takes first, will bowl for grand champion against Good Frame Gentlemen, which should have been, what was that team? Oh, the Money Shot. But the Money Shot pulled the Woodmansee.
So there are 5 weeks that count average-wise.
Right. So we still got 5 more weeks. So, Chris, if you're going to be the comeback kid, then you only got 5 more weeks left to do it.
Yeah, if I were you, I'd sit out the next 5 weeks if you want to hold on to third place.
All right, that sounds like a plan.
No, because if you sit out 5 weeks, then that means you're going to fall below the percentage of the award.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
So you got to bowl. Well, we're just going to have Ron on for Chris Probes, but since we don't have a guest tonight.
Yeah, let's do the standings. Where do we stand in the standings right now?
I forgot to do the standings. Crap. Let me get that back up there. All right, so standings-wise, we're looking at first place, Joey Robb, still in first. I don't know how. 367 with a 63% winning percentage. Ricky and the 2 Mick, 348. Now that's before Chris's team's post bowl was in there. That has him at all 48 points. But once Chris's post bowl gets in, I'm more than likely going to guess it's going to be around 12. That'll be taken off that. So they're really at kind of 336 or close to it. Brady Bunch, 342. They're still 25 points behind first place. Boyers boys catching up a little bit this week. They're at 313. I'd hit that better, falling off a little bit when they bowled against Brady Bunch, and they're at 304. Good Frame Gentlemen, 281 and 6th. I'd hit that harder, 262 and 7th. Pocket Pounders falling to 8th. They're at 240. 2 Marks and a Spare Team 10 at 227. And Titanic still has not gotten their post bowl scores in. They are at 196, but they're probably going to be close to somewhere around 210-ish.
Yeah.
So they broke 200, huh?
I told you it's possible. I told you it's possible.
Finally.
Every point counts.
Yes, sir.
When it comes to the Titanic.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, like Mark said, like in the first half, the last place is actually first.
How is that?
He said that when we were in first place, that's the last place. We flipped it. Remember? Mm-hmm.
Well, it is not trending very good for you guys, but it just so happens there's a battle for last place. You guys will be bowling against 2 Marks and a Spare this week.
Oh, that'll sew it up right there, Chris, if you lose.
Yeah, if you guys lose to 2 Marks and a Spare,
don't come back.
You guys might as well just call
quit.
it in.
Yeah, just quit.
Yeah.
If you quit the league, you got to forfeit all your money too.
Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm. Thank you for the support, guys. Thank you for the support.
We're trying to encourage you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
We've been giving you encouragement the whole season.
Yeah.
You're still, bad as you're bowling the second half, you're still year-to-date over 50% winning percentage.
Oh, yeah. I just noticed that. Over to the far right.
So you're still in 50.
Brady Bunch has the highest winning percentage. They're at 58. Rick and the two mix. Wow, they're at 56.
Yeah.
So they're second overall. That's shocking. Boys got 54. Good Frame Gentleman 55. And the Titanic at 50 even, 50.4.
If you were to say, Lee, that's shocking to Mike Henderson, he'd knock you out. He thinks he thinks they got it going.
Yeah. Oh, man, I'm riding them to the end. So every Beat Marks picks we're having every week, I know they are my lock.
They got it going. I'm shocked as well as they bowled with nobody there last week. That's not easy to do.
It's not. And they crushed it.
Yeah, they did. They bowled well.
Yeah. Chris, looking at you guys, I mean, you're facing the 9th place team this week and then the 8th place team next week, the Pocket Pounders.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you guys have a chance to get out of the gutter these 2 weeks, I mean, you want encouragement. These are 2 weeks that your team should definitely kill it.
So I think maybe you ought to sit out, Chris, the way the two bowled today.
Okay. There's a possibility.
They did bowl very well today. They look good. There's no pressure on them. And I asked
not
them,
intense.
Where's Chris? They said, we got rid of the baggage today.
that was coming from them. That wasn't coming from Mark. That was
yeah. That's what they said.
That's what they said.
All right. So since we're on the Titanic, why don't we go into the pick segment?
Okay. Here we go with another segment of Beat Mark's Picks. What a disastrous week last week. A disaster. Chris is the leader of last week.
Wow.
Yeah.
He won.
4 wins, 1 loss.
What? That can't happen.
What loss was it? What loss was it?
1 pick shy of running the table.
Who was the loss for me?
It was 2 marks and a spare.
Oh.
Yeah.
You took 2 marks and a spare to beat the Boys.
Damn.
Oh, what? Are you nuts?
Yeah. Lee, you were the only one that took them.
No, I was betting on the subs. Remember? I told you the subs were going to.
Oh, yeah. Larry and George.
Yeah, and you were the only one that took them, Lee, and that was your only win of the week. You went 1-4.
What? Jeez.
1-4.
What the hell?
1-4, and you were the one that took the Boys.
So does that mean that since I won the second most, does that mean somebody else went 0-5?
No, I went 2-3.
Oh,
you went. Let's not jump the gun here. No.
Damn it. So you still gained a game on me.
Yeah.
Well, I think we can call it a wraps now.
Overall, myself, 32 wins, 20 losses. Lee, you're 25 wins, 27 losses. And Chris is 24 wins, 28 losses. So there's a battle here for second place.
Yeah, or last.
Yeah, second or last. There's a battle here.
I caught up at 3. See, I'm closing the gap. Closing the gap.
Yeah, that was a hell of a week for you, I'll admit. Now, this week is going to be a different story because looking at these matches, I mean, there's top teams going against bottom teams, but there's that good old Titanic. They're facing 2 marks and a spare. So
on this one, it's going to be a tough one because 2 marks and a spare. And I don't know who's subbing. I don't know if they're going to have subs again. Those 2 guys that I was betting on last week to win against the Boys. But so I'm really confused on this part. But for some reason, in my gut, is telling me to vote for Titanic, my team.
Whoa!
And I feel like we're gonna win this one. And
is it because you're not bowling? Is why you're picking you?
Probably. This is probably
no.
True.
If you don't bowl, then you forfeit everything.
So I am voting for the Titanic for some reason in my gut. I just feel like we're gonna win.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear. Tough one. Yeah, it's unknown who's going to bowl. Mark Gates bowled last week. He's their regular. Mark Millar is their other regular, hasn't bowled in a while. Jerry, I think Jerry's pretty consistent, but she is going to bowl, I think. I'm actually going with Chris's team too. I think they're going to ride high from last night. I think they may have figured something out. So I'm going to go with Chris's team. The hell, they might even shoot 2,200.
Yeah.
I saw Brian and Christian bowl earlier today without Chris, and they looked good. Pressure was off. They got rid of the baggage. They were high-fiving each other like they won the championship.
Wow.
And they were just bowling. God, if Chris could stay away, that team's going to kill him. They're going to kill him.
Well, they're bowling with each other in the summer. That's their summer team.
Are they? Well, they look great. Wow. They looked really good out there. Oh, God, man, Chris, if you just stay home, I really believe Team 5, the Titanic, or it might be Brian Christian and the One Nut. I got to go with, Brian Christian and the One Nut on this one.
Oh,
Team 5.
It's unanimous. I wonder how many unanimous picks that Titanic's got.
Boy, but they looked really good this afternoon, even warming up. I mean, they were stroking.
Damn.
Yeah.
It's official. Maybe Chris's team is the comeback kids.
I don't know about
that. See? All 3 wins for my team. Wait,
how about that? See, now you're talking in third.
Camilla, who do you vote for? My team to win tomorrow or Mark's and two space?
No, I'm
Is he really pulling in Camilla?
Who do you vote to win? They hear me.
I got to go with Brian and Christian to win this match.
Who do you vote for? It's 3-0 on my team, for my team. Who do you vote for?
Against Mark?
No, Mark, Jerry's mom.
Oh, then y'all.
Oh, see? Easy pick for her. Easy pick for her.
Hi, Camilla.
Yeah, they say hi.
Oh,
they say hi. Yeah, easy pick.
Wow. So, okay, is that our unofficial guest pick as well?
Yep, there we go.
I remember that one time she did make picks with us when she was a guest. She beat you.
Yeah, let her pick. I want to see this.
I want to pick. Okay.
Okay, that's a sweep.
That's a clean sweep. We got 4 picks for the Titanic. That's shocking.
That's a first.
Let's face it.
Probably.
Yeah, ready? Next team. If we have team number 9 versus Warrior Boys versus Good Frame Gentlemen. Good Frame Gentlemen is Elena's team. Okay, with Gary and Greg. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The Warrior Boys is Kiefer, Patrick, and David Pry. Who you vote for? Warrior Boys are in 4th. Good Frame Gentlemen are in 6th.
Does she know the Titanic is in last?
She knows that the Titanic is in 1st.
She might want to change her first pick.
Yeah,
she's going by standings.
First, because 10 is actually 1.
Oh gosh.
So they flipped it. So first place is actually on the bottom, and the last place is on top.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Titanic's in first.
Let her know it's a 2-hour show.
She said Warrior Boys. She got Warrior Boys.
All right. And so, Chris, what does that mean for you? Or is that you're going to be your pick too?
You know what? Since David is out and he probably won't bowl, yes, I'm going to go Boys because Andrew might be sudden.
Okay. What do you think, Mark?
I'm going with Good Frame Gentlemen.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. Going with the Good Frame Gentlemen.
I bowled last week, and Greg bowled pretty good. He shot 600. It's just Elena. Oh, my gosh. I don't know what's wrong with her.
Did she sit at your table?
No, she didn't. She sat at her own table. She was invited to our table, but she was very uptight the whole night. And I don't know if she's going to be able to break out of it. I hope she does. I'm going to have to go with Warriors Boys because they're on a roll, and I think Andrew might be bowling for David again. And he'll be using his real average, so he'll be getting less handicap. So I think the spread on this is going to be pretty big in favor of Good Frame Gentlemen, so they'll actually be getting pinned.
Yeah.
But I'm going to have to stick it out with Warriors Boys.
Okay, I'm the only one then. Good Frame Gentlemen.
We got mixed picks, like mixed reviews.
Yeah, I like the Good Frame Gentlemen in that match. And this is the big match. Our next match, Team 4, Pocket Pounders, facing the I'd Hit That Better Ron Reynolds off of a 300 game.
Yep.
300 game.
So let's let ladies go first. Is she still picking, Chris?
Yes, she picked. Yes.
Ladies first.
Okay. Ready? So I already know she gave me all of them ahead of time. So 4 and 8, we have Pocket Pounder versus I Hit That Better. And all she needed was to know who's on what team. And once they said Ron, she's like, "Oh, Ron." So that's all she says Ron's team.
I thought I heard her say Kyle.
No, she said Ron. Once I said
He was
Ron,
Kyle of the Hill.
She's like, "Oh, Ron's better. Ron's the leader of the group."
What about Mark? Mark's been in charge of that team for a while.
Wait, who's Mark again?
All right, so we got one for Kyle, one for Ron's team.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Kyle's team.
Really?
Yeah. Kyle's been bowling good. He looked really consistent last week. And
that practice is paying off. He's been practicing a lot lately. Yeah.
Just Ron is he's challenged on what ball to use to start with. But once he gets going, he gets going. So, obviously, I'm a big fan of the Pocket Pounders. I thought they'd win this half because I think they've got a good mix of lefty, righty power bowlers. It sucked that Rick went down because I think that he is a big factor on that team. But that one step, I give him a lot of credit coming back, but it's tough to maintain for 3 games when the lanes are dry like they are by the third game.
And you get so tired and towards the end because you're having to exude twice as much energy trying to just stand up and balance yourself on that ice.
And then just to get it out there, you know what I mean? 3 games.
And we're bowling on lanes that have already been bowled on, so it's extra dry. Yeah. But oddly enough, all our great games are in the third game. So I don't know. Maybe it says something. I am going to have to go with, just based on the standings, I'm going to go with that I'd Hit That Better team because I just think that Rick's just coming back still. I think he might have a struggle with getting any games up there, although he didn't show any signs of rust or anything this past couple weeks that he bowled. So I don't know. It could be a toss-up. I mean, it just depends on if Kyle keeps it up, if Ron keeps it up, Mark's going to keep it up. I'm going to go with I'd Hit That Better.
There we go. Okay. Yeah, only because after Ron shot that 300, and I just feel like Ron's been climbing. Ron has been climbing. He is climbing that ladder. So only because of that reason, I'm gonna go for Ron's team.
Wow. Sorry, Rick, if you're listening, I know you're a fan of the show. Guaranteed, I'm picking you next week because I know you're going to bowl good. So prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Kick their ass.
He's not going to pick y'all. So.
I know Mark's not a fan of that.
No, you know what? I mean, I appreciate Jared buying all the beer last week. So if Rick wants to jump in, if Rick wants to jump in and do that, we can make some allowance.
So that's how they won. I see. Okay. It was a fair trade. All right. Now this next match, oh my God. My team, who's barely clinging the first, against Ricky and the 2 mix, that's the hottest team that's in the league at this moment. I am bowling them at their peak. Our team doesn't stand a chance. We're just hope to just cling to maybe 12 points because I don't see us winning at all on this one. I'm picking Ricky and the 2 mix. Which is best.
What is that? What?
They've been averaging 2,100. They can't win.
But everyone's good for a bad game. Everyone has to have a bad game.
But still, 2,100. That's crazy.
What's the difference?
The difference in this is 78 pins.
Oh my God! There's no way.
78's a lot of pins.
But, sure. No, it is a lot. But unless you're going to a crappy team like Ricky's, then you'd be fine.
And I was lucky to stand up that whole night, and we were on 31-32. Which, when you do a resurface to any house, the end pairs are the absolute worst because they got the least traffic on them. I just don't see us pulling it. We'll be lucky to get 12. I hope my boys can hold me up because I just know we're going to be killed.
Lee, I was going to take your team, but you've convinced me to switch. You really have. I was going to take your team, but now you've convinced me that I'm going to switch to Ricky and the 2 mix. And sometimes the way those approaches are, it can have an effect on those guys that utilize that slide. You know what I mean?
They do. Yep.
And
my 2 boys, they love the slide.
Peyton's got that little skip after how'd he manage to do that last week?
He couldn't hop. He couldn't do the skip at the end.
He has that little hop. Yeah.
He was struggling. Bowled average, but he wasn't killing it like previous weeks that he had been. It's just Leland bowled. He held us up though. He was the reason why we won that last game. So Leland, if he can stay on pace, and I think we'll have a pretty good chance. He's all of a sudden become a really good bowler to have in the league because he gets handicap and he's been averaging nearly 200.
Yeah, he's definitely been a difference maker for sure. But 78 pins.
Yeah.
And the approach is like ice. You convinced me. I got to go with Ricky in the 2 mix.
And even though Leland bowled pretty good, he actually had a gutter for the first time in probably 3 months. So he went right back to being the gutter fluffer. So yeah, I think our team is starting to show signs of the first half. I think the pressure's getting to us. I wouldn't pick us with $100 bet.
No.
That's crazy. That's crazy to hear, man.
Yep. It's obvious. The writing's on the wall.
Well, I am voting for y'all.
No. You're wanting to take last place.
Yep. I believe y'all. I believe in y'all. I believe y'all are going to kill it.
Well, I'm glad somebody has hope. I'm interested in what Camilla's got. Is she still there?
Camilla voted for y'all.
No way.
Yeah, she voted. She asked me who's on the team. She's like, Joey Rob. I'm like, okay.
She get Joey to sub.
That's the thing. Yeah,
I said once I said you were on the team that was Joey Rob's team, and she knew Ricky was on the other team. She's like, no, Joey Rob.
Yeah, she just heard the name Joey Rob and said, all right, I'm going with Joey.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wonder why she's thinking of Joey.
Mm-hmm. Probably.
All right, it's unanimous. Or no, it's not unanimous. It's split down the middle, 2 and
2.
Last pair, 3 and 7. I'd hit that harder against the Brady Bunch. This one's going to be a weird pick because here we have Trent coming off an unbelievable week. The team as a whole won for the first time in months, and it's the first time that they bowled together as a team in months. I don't know. I mean, obviously, you could see the difference when the team bowls together as opposed to when they bring in a sub or they got somebody who's blind. And if they had just kept that up, I mean, who knows where they would have been. But it had been months before they'd done that. Now, again, who knows if they're going to show up this week. And Jared's team, although they've had their consistent times where they haven't had their full squad together either. They've had a few subs here and there. It's a tough pick. And it's 31-32.
Yeah, this is 65 pins.
Ooh.
I'm confident. I'll tell you, I'm confident that Trent, Rich, and Dwayne will be together for the second week in a row, and that could break a record this season for them. But I'm confident that they'll be all there. And being that we're going to outlaw that Flintstone ball unless Jared throws like Fred,
Oh my God.
I'm going to take I'd hit that harder to win this match.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is a shocking pick right there. Well, he might be bowling like Fred Flintstone on this approach because it's so damn slippery. 31-32. I mean, he might be bowling just like that. Neil looked like he adjusted really good towards the ice approach. He slides a little. It looks like he favors the plant more than the slide, but I think he does have a very good rhythm. Gilbert, who's really got good rhythm, and I'm really impressed with his 10 pins. He picked up every single 10 pin the same identical way, but on this slick shot, that changes everything with your approach. God, man, I really, really want to pick I'd hit that harder. But I'm going to go with the Brady Bunch just on seeding alone. I'm just going with the hot team. They haven't lost in 2 months, probably more. But man, I'm telling you, if it's Dwayne, Trent, and Richard all together, and Richard, who's legendarily bowled on 31-32, his best nights. I mean, if this was a Vegas bet, if I was betting, I'd easily pick I'd hit that harder, but I'm going to go with Brady Bunch on this one just for the safe bet.
And here's the deal. I don't think Dwayne's going to lose his cool here. You know what I mean? Because the Brady Bunch all throws good balls. You know what I mean? Nothing's cheap. So he's going to be in it.
He does bowl up to the competition.
He's going to be in it to win it.
Yeah. Man, Mark, that's I mean, if there was money on the line, I'd probably bet right with you. But I'm going to go with Brady Bunch. I'm going to go with the easy bet.
Good choice. Good choice. Yeah. My pick is easy, and my wife, my Camille's pick is easy. We both went for the Brady Bunch.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
Both of your nemesis is Dwayne and Neil.
Yeah, exactly. But I believe in Jared of all. Neil's been, like you said, Neil just shot a 700. You said based on that, he did that on the crappy approaches as well. If he could do that, the approaches won't bother him. So I think he can teach the other two how to compensate for the bad approaches if they are bad. So I honestly think Neil's going to take it all.
Now, Chris, you ought to take after Neil's style of bowling. He's about a foot behind the line every time he shoots the ball. He's about 2 feet behind the line.
Chris would say he is the same.
I'm also behind the line. So.
About 2 millimeters behind the line, if behind.
Yeah, but still behind. At the end of the day, I'm still behind.
Mm-hmm. So that's the Beat Marks pick segments. Tough week, so it'll be interesting to see what we do next week. Real quick before we're done, there's one more subject I wanted to cover. We touched on it just a little bit on the post bowls. So I had an interesting conversation with Greg last week. He said that their team has had probably a record number of post bowls against their team, basically teams not showing up to bowl them on the night of. Said it's happened about 5 or 6 times. And I was actually kind of surprised by it. I know that our league, we bowl late, so it's tougher for some guys to get out there. We got subs and all, and that should be the first option, so I know it's tough. But when Greg told me that it's been about 5 to 6 different times this whole season, that kind of surprised me. I was taken back.
I agree with that, though. We've had way too many teams post bowling, way too many. And there are a handful of teams like my team and even Jerry's team. They always got a sub in there when one bowler can't bowl. But there's way too many teams I agree that if you go back and look, Lee, you probably end up finding out there must have been at least 10 to 12 post bowls this season.
Oh, easy.
That's incredible for a 10-team league. It really is.
I'd say we average at least maybe about 9. Well, let's see if I had to put in a percentage. I wouldn't say it's 1 team a week. I'd say it's just under 1 team a week, which is a crazy amount. I mean, we consider 31 weeks. I'd say we had maybe 16 to 17 weeks where we've had at least 1 team post bowl. Which is an uncommon amount.
That is unbelievable. And it's a disadvantage, too, to those teams that are there on the other teams not to have to bowl under a really tough shot one night. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. We got to think about maybe coming up with something next season.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, we should at least discuss it, that encourage teams that we know that are needing to post bowl to encourage them to use sub. We've got subs on a regular basis, like George Martinez, who
Larry Bevino. Yeah.
George, who doesn't even bowl in the league, has got 60 games in the league, which means that he's probably bowled out of the 31 weeks. He's probably bowled like 28 weeks. So we have regular subs that can bowl for you. On the other hand, I know that it's tough to tell teams that they can't post bowl all the time because, I mean, we've only got 10 teams. We're barely clinging to as many teams as we can. So I hate turning away teams just on a post bowl.
Just probably ought to have to limit the number of post bowls.
Like I've heard each team gets at least 2 or 3.
Oh, 2. Oh, man. That'd be a tough rule to uphold. I'd have to go with maybe 4.
Yeah. But, I mean, for a minute there, I thought Chris's JB Trio team was bowling Friday nights instead of Tuesdays.
Well, it may have helped him. I don't know.
Helped us once or twice.
But yeah, so I definitely think a discussion is warranted. Definitely something to bring up in the meeting. You know, if anybody wants to come up with a team rule, of course, our meetings are the place to do it. We try to encourage people to vote. If anybody wants to come up with a new rule about it.
Yeah, Scratch League next season.
Oh, man. Talk about losing bowlers. I want to mention the Scratch League. Oh, man. We would probably lose more than half the league if that happens.
Yeah.
Bowling late is not the easiest. You mentioned you go up to a couple of people and they're brand new to bowling. They're going to say 9 o'clock. No, hell no. So, and we're probably one of the few teams in Dallas Fort Worth that have a 9 o'clock league. There's not many.
We should also have an advertisement. If you're good at bowling, bowl here.
Because Chris said so.
Yeah,
that'll be our slogan.
Like, you want to be a Woodmansee? Win the Woodmansee Award here.
Or maybe we're not advertising your name enough. I mean, your name's getting out there.
Yeah, dude.
Say, come bowl with the Woodmansee.
Yeah, win the Woodmansee trophy. Who wants it?
The Woodmansee Madness. But so that was the big subject that came up last week. So we'll have to have a discussion in the next meeting. I know our summer league's right around the corner. We're our last week of the league. Good subject to get on is May 30th. That is the sweeper night. But first place teams for each half will bowl against each other. That'll be the only meaningful match to watch. They might not even bowl that night. I know last year we had our championship match. The two teams were going to be out of town that last week, so they ended up pre-bowling a couple of nights before the sweeper. Jared came up to me tonight saying that if their team happens to win the second half, that they may have to pre-bowl or make up that last week because I think they're going to Nationals that week.
Yes, they are. They are. They invited,
Yeah.
Yep.
So something else to think about. I know we're talking about limiting the post bowls, but here we are already talking about the very next post bowl. But so we'll have to figure something out with that. All right. So let me look and see
who ended up Woodmansee of the week. We know
that I don't know. I'm gonna have to double check. I know bowler of the week was Trent. He had 130 over. Very honorable mention to Ron Reynolds. We talked about at the beginning of the show. Shot.
Oh, you know what? It could have been Ron, right?
Yeah, it could have been. He didn't put those two games together, though. That's the one rule with the Woodmansee Awards. You have to put the two games together.
Yeah.
Well, but even his second game,
212, but 300.
But I seem to think somebody did beat him.
I think somebody did too. I can't remember. It might have been either Ricky or somebody. Ricky shot another 600. I'll double check, and I know I keep saying it every week that we'll have official update, but we'll do that next week, and then we'll do an update to our power rankings because we haven't done that in a while, and it's coming down to by next week it'll be down to 4 weeks, so we'll have to do our update to our power rankings. I wonder what that's changed to since we did it last. My God, I bet you it's all flip-flopped and everything.
Yeah.
But honorable mention to Ron Reynolds with 300. Mike Henderson, who's been crushing it, had 106 over average. Congrats to him. Another kudos to Neil Brady, shot 700. He bowled 99 over. And Jerry Boudreau for the ladies, bowler of the week, 23 pins over. So congrats to her. A lot of honorable mentions.
Hey, good job, guys.
And it was a great week. Great week without the Titanic there.
Yeah, it wasn't though.
A lot of good bowling.
Oh yeah, my big
update. Chris, you said something about an hour. What's the big news?
All right, big news is my summer partner has locked it in. Ready or not, my summer partner for the JV Trios.
Camilla's not going to do that to herself, is she?
Ready? It is the infamous, most annoying person ever, Mark Merchant.
No,
what?
it ain't.
Congratulations.
Oh, look at that.
Congratulations.
Not your worst nightmare.
You are blessed to be my partner. I know.
Couldn't handle it. Christian
you are full of excitement. You can't imagine what's happening right now.
Look,
you're in shock. I know, but you will be my partner.
I've already been warned by Brian and Christian.
Man, that would be like if I'm trying to think of a great example. That'd be like if President Biden and Vladimir Putin bowled together.
Oh my God.
Who would be Putin though? I wonder.
Him. He looks like him.
Oh yeah, right.
He looks like him.
If that happened, I can't imagine.
Well,
that'd be like the world coming to an end.
I don't have a partner yet, but it's still in the books. So
he's still trying to find somebody.
I was about to say
it's been 20 weeks now.
I'm still trying to find someone.
I'm in shock. I mean, I'm surprised my phone hasn't blown up.
Yeah, see.
You're in shock. Have you bowled with him yet, Lee?
No, I haven't.
Not yet.
I have.
Not yet. You have?
He showed up as a sub one time on my team on Thursday.
I did great.
Oh my God!
Yeah, I showed up as a sub on my team Thursday night. I almost put my ball back in the locker and left.
Me too. I did the same thing. I literally walked in and I was like, "Hey, Mark, you bowling this league?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm bowling this team." I'm like, "I don't know what team I bowled on." He's like, "Then I found the girl who texted me and like, hey, you're bowling this team." I'm like, "What? With Mark?" No.
I remember that. I was on 1 and 2. It's like the world's coming into an end.
Yeah.
The world's colliding.
And that was tough.
And see, Mark, you could have it all summer.
Oh, geez. That's why Christian and Brian are bowling together.
You know what? We need to have a bet. This bet would be the bet to end all bets. So, Chris, if you're serious, if you guys come up with some sort of a bet, if you win and Mark has to bowl with you, but if Mark wins, then maybe you could come back and address with Christina 2.0 or something.
Win what, though? Win what?
That's what I'm saying. If you lose the bet, you got to wear the dress again.
Okay. So
well, he's already going to do that the last week.
No, I haven't. I haven't got the Woodmansee award.
Maybe that could be it if Chris pulls off the Woodmansee.
This is why he didn't show up last week, and he's not showing up the next 5 weeks.
I haven't got the Woodmansee award this whole season.
Nervous. He's nervous by it. He's nervous.
Mm-hmm.
So if Chris bowls the Woodmansee, then he has to wear full. I got it. He has to let Elena dress him.
Oh, okay, no. The deal was I wear a wig and a skirt again. And
nope. You have to let Elena do it.
No.
You have to let Elena do it.
God, no. Never.
See, that's the bet, Mark. That's the bet.
Nope, never going to happen. Never.
He's got to let Elena dress him up. Full makeup, full wig.
No.
And then
she's definitely fond of that team, that's for sure.
Let's agree to disagree.
She sat with you the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Brian, they're they have a thing for each other.
See, but I think I touched on it, though. I think that has to be the bet. If Chris loses, if he becomes Woodmansee member, then Elena's got to be the one to put him. Well, here it is. This is the bet. Elena has to she gets her way with you. She gets to dress you from top to bottom, whatever she wants.
Oh my God. I don't know. That's a hard one. I don't know.
And then if you win, then Mark has to bowl with you all summer.
Deal. I'll take that deal if Mark says yes.
And what's the deal? Oh,
if Mark says yes, I'll take it.
I can't do that.
Oh, Mark.
I'll take it if Mark says yes.
He knows I can't do that.
What?
All right, so we have to make the odds fair then. So, Chris, maybe instead of Woodmansee, maybe you have to crack the top 2 in average.
Oh, my God.
So, basically, you have to beat Peyton and then whoever's behind you in average.
For what?
That's the bet. If you are in second place in average at the end of the season.
For what? I have to do what?
If you don't beat Peyton, then you have to let Elena.
Oh my God! No, I can't do that. No, it's or Mark become a partner, or Mark become.
That's what I'm saying. If you beat Peyton's average by the end of the season, then Mark is your partner. If you don't beat Peyton by the end of the season, then you have to let Elena dress you.
Oh my gosh! What do you say, Mark? What do you say?
It doesn't it doesn't have to be Peyton. He just got to come in second.
Yeah.
So if Neil could pass him.
So what do you say about that? What do you say about that?
I have to talk to my buddy Ron.
Oh. All right. Bets on the table. It has not been finalized.
It's on hold.
It's on hold.
And I'm sure if I asked Elena what the bet is, she would be all in.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we got to check with Elaine. Yeah, we got to check with her too.
No, I can guarantee you if I told Elena she would be able to do to Chris, she would be all in.
Oh my God, please. That's so... All right, so it's on hold. All right, until next time.
All right, until next time. That's our news of the day.
All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in for our podcast. Sorry that I wasn't there last week, but I learned a lot, and congratulations to Ron for his 300. So hopefully tomorrow when I'm there, I can update y'all my day-to-day insight of the Tuesday League, and come back next week to find out if I can become a girl or not.
All right, guys. I think y'all have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah,
you too. Bye.